An employee's arm got stuck in a crusher. 15 days went by. The pain was unbearable, and he wished he was dead. The firefighters quickly cut off the power and poured in some oil. They tried to pull his arm out. So the firefighters took out a drill and decided to remove the gears. After several hours of hard work, the man was finally freed with the crusher. But when he got to the hospital, the first thing he said was to ask the firefighters to call his boss and tell him he could work the next day. I wonder how much his boss pays him. The man's leg got stuck in the gears, almost split in two. When the firefighters arrived, he had already lost too much blood and passed out. The firefighters wanted to take the machine apart, but to save him quickly, they had to run the machine backward. When the machine started, the captain's hand accidentally got caught. The team quickly changed direction. The captain pulled his hand out in pain, and the man's leg was freed. Who knows if he'll dare to go on a rescue mission again. A man was hanging from a conveyor belt. His whole arm was stuck in it. Firefighters came to rescue him, but the conveyor belt suddenly started moving. The man screamed in pain. 1 hour later, the power was finally turned off. But just as the firefighters were rescuing him, the conveyor belt started moving again. A firefighter almost fell off. Luckily, his teammates helped him and pulled him back up. Then, the firefighter thought to reverse the machine. The man's arm finally came free. He was rushed to the hospital just in time. Dad's hand got stuck in the blender. When the daughter saw it, she walked slowly to inform the fire department. When the firefighters arrived, Dad's arm had already rotated 180 degrees. The firefighters quickly approached to inspect. Turned out the machine had suddenly malfunctioned, caught the man's arm inside. Although the power had been turned off, he dared not move recklessly, could only wait for rescue. The firefighter dismantled the shell, looked at the man's bent arm. To avoid putting pressure on his wound, they had to remove the blender stick along with the man's hand. They unscrewed the axle, slowly rotated the blender stick, finally taking the blender off, then sent the man to the hospital for treatment.
The skinny lady opened the blender cover to add water, but when the firefighters arrived, the woman's whole body was stuck in the blender. The dough turned red. Even though she could still breathe, the situation didn't look good. The firefighters tried to save her while quickly dismantling the machine. Suddenly, a firefighter noticed the woman's right hand had no pulse. After examination, they found the dough blocked most of the blood flow. The artery was damaged. They had to wrap the wound with dough first. Before handing her over to the doctor, the firefighter wrapped the blender with gauze, then lifted the woman and the blender out together. Hopefully, she'll learn her lesson and never stick her hand in a blender again.
The firefighter took out a 10-meter straw, put it in the woman's nose. Then, she put nail polish remover on her mouth. All this to save her. Just a moment ago, the firefighter got a call. A woman was having trouble breathing and had fallen to the ground. Her sister held up a lipstick, saying she just put it on. And then this happened, but the firefighter saw it wasn't lipstick. It was super glue that lasts for 10 years. To help the woman breathe, they used the straw first. Then, they borrowed some nail polish remover from people nearby. After putting it on, the glue on the woman's mouth came off. But to make sure she didn't swallow any glue, she still needed to go to the hospital. The girl just tripped and fell. The metal straw went right into her mouth. Now she drinks water with a built-in straw. Turns out, the girl was drinking water when she tripped over the dog. That's how it happened. But when the firefighters were helping her, they suddenly saw that her blood was light red.
This isn't blood, this is cerebrospinal fluid. The straw must have pierced her cranial cavity.
The girl started crying really hard, scared she was going to meet Jesus soon. Seeing the water bottle nearby, the firefighter decided to distract her.
You have the limited edition pink tumbler? Girl, I stood in line in the cold for 2 hours trying to get my hands on one of those.
The girl finally calmed down and was taken to the hospital. Would you still use a metal straw to drink water? The man is about to be swallowed by soybeans. Just before he loses his breath, the firefighters finally arrive. One reaches out to stop the man from sinking, but the man can't grab his hand. His friend opens the outlet, which makes the man sink even deeper. Just as the man is about to disappear, the firefighter finally grabs him. Other firefighters quickly come to help. They surround the man with boards to keep him in place. Then they stand on ladders to stop the soybeans from moving. After some digging, the man loses consciousness from the pressure. The firefighter ties a safety rope around him, and they quickly pull him out.
the fire department got a call. A car was stuck in the car wash. The captain asked if he could turn off the power, but the employee said it would take some time to find it. To rescue the people quickly, the woman rushed into the car wash, decided to pry open the car window with her colleague. After prying open the window, they reached into the car with a stretcher, rescued the female customer. Just as they were about to rescue the male customer, the car wash equipment suddenly started. The steel support frame fell down. The captain sent for backup, but was accidentally caught in the car wash. Fortunately, the power was finally cut off. The firefighters and the male customer were rescued. Would you still dare to go to the car wash? The old lady picked up a bowling ball, found it covered in blood. Just now, the manager came to the back to fix the machine, while the staff were playing on their phones at the front. When customers arrived, he directed them to the machine being repaired. The woman in the back had just reached in when a customer threw a ball. The machine suddenly started moving, trapping her arm. When the fire department arrived, the woman had a weak pulse, was about to pass out. The firefighters could only start by giving her fluids. Because her arm was severely fractured, they had to saw off the support, create a steel splint. Then they were all taken to the hospital together. Before leaving, the woman entrusted Black to be the manager, and his first act as manager was,
Jesse, you're fired.
the fire department got a call. A car was stuck in the car wash. The captain asked if he could turn off the power, but the employee said it would take some time to find it. To rescue the people quickly, the woman rushed into the car wash, decided to pry open the car window with her colleague. After prying open the window, they reached into the car with a stretcher, rescued the female customer. Just as they were about to rescue the male customer, the car wash equipment suddenly started. The steel support frame fell down. The captain sent for backup, but was accidentally caught in the car wash. Fortunately, the power was finally cut off. The firefighters and the male customer were rescued. Would you still dare to go to the car wash?
Just now, a man threw his ex-boyfriend's clothes into a trash can, but by accident, his car keys fell in two. He reached in to grab them, but his legs were too short. He couldn't touch it, so he jumped. Then he fell right into the can. He tried to kick his way out. Then, he took a tennis racket and banged on the door, but no response, cause the door could only be opened from the outside. He grabbed the keys, kept trying to unlock the car door. He was stuck there until night fell. The air in the trash can got thinner and thinner. Luckily, firefighters were nearby because of another call. They heard the man's cries for help. When the firefighters opened the bin, the man was almost out of breath.
That's all I was expecting.
It never is.
Even sadder, when the man was finally rescued, his car, which he kept trying to unlock, had already been stolen.
When the firefighters arrived, the car was completely wrecked. First, they cleared the crowd. Then they came to the girl's side. Though the girl was okay, her friend passed away on the spot. The firefighter wanted to rescue the girl, but couldn't open the car door. Objects kept falling from above. When the firefighters didn't know what to do, the captain rushed over. Under his orders, Team A was in charge of sawing the door. Team B was in charge of observing. The organized team quickly opened the door. The girl was finally rescued. Just as she was being carried out on a stretcher, more glass fell down. The first thing the conscious girl said was asking about her friend's condition. To stabilize her emotions, the firefighters didn't tell her the truth. Do you think the firefighters did the right thing?